So you bought a whole bunch of wine and now you don't know where to store it at home. Well, I'm Nathan Dale, wine expert with ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
And I'm Paul Quaglini, also a wine expert with ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
And today we're going to talk about the best way to store your wine at home. So why is wine storage important? Essentially, wine is a living thing. The bottle is going to change over time because there are still dead yeast cells within there that are going to break down over time. The tannins will soften and drop. There's all sorts of stuff that happens chemically to a bottle of wine as it ages. And if it's not stored properly, it can impact the future flavor and aroma that's going to come out of this bottle of wine.
Keeping the wine cool and dark and on its side is the best way to store your wine long term. Heat and light will damage the wine, they'll cause it to oxidize prematurely, and that's definitely not what you want to happen. Laying on its side prevents the cork from drying out, and this again is great for long-term storage. Your regular refrigerator in your kitchen, that's really not the best place to store your wine long-term. It's fine for a week or two, or even a month, but it's too dry inside of a conventional refrigerator. That's going to dry out your cork, and that's not what you want to have happen. So what's the ideal way to store your wine? Well, if you lived in a 15th century castle, that would be perfect because you'd have a dark, cold cellar in the bottom, kind of a dungeon.
The ambient temperature in some of these caves or stone buildings and basements and places like that is about 58 degrees, somewhere 58 to 62 degrees, and it turns out it's absolutely perfect for storing wine.
So what are our options for those of us at home here in Florida? Now, if you want to invest in a wine refrigerator, that's really ideal, but that's really for long-term storage. If you're just keeping your wine in your house for a couple of weeks or a month, cool, dark, laying on its side, even in a closet, you're fine with that.
So what's a good length of time for storing your wine at home? Before I answer that question, like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and leave some comments below. It might be a subject for one of our next videos. So how long do you store your wines at home? The answer really depends upon what kind of wine you are trying to store. So lighter bodied whites like Pinot Grigio or Sauvignon Blanc don't require that much storage time. You can keep them for a year or two, but because it's all primary fruit flavors, you don't want to go too long. When you get into heavier whites like Chardonnay or white Burgundy, you can go longer depending on the quality. If it's a high quality wine, you can look at 5, 10 years, sometimes 15. And the same thing goes for reds. Lighter Pinot Noirs or simple domestic Cabernets, a year or so. When you're talking about Napa Valley Big Boy Cabernet or a big Italian Barolo, which is a heavy duty red wine, you can look at 5, 10, 15 years of aging. So it all just depends on what wines you have and what wines you like to enjoy.
So now that you know how to store your wine properly, visit us at one of our stores or check us out online at abcfws.com. And check out our other videos.